Oh, sorry, I think I mute myself. Okay, so is the Hsinchu is good to study? Well, let's say they have some famous universities there, and they are actually pretty good, but that really depends on which major you're taking. Yeah, that's mostly about it. And I kind of noticed that you are from India, so they have also some nice, well, really decent Indian food restaurant around. So in case you miss home, then you are also able to get something more familiar to you. Okay, is there on it? Any other questions? You're welcome. Best time to visit Taiwan, I would say anytime. Okay, because now I would say that really depends on your purpose. If you are going to experience just nature outdoor, like the things that I just mentioned, without any kinds of folk culture, then that's different. But the most comfortable weather definitely is spring, like end of spring. It's definitely a lot comfortable for everyone, not too cold, not too hot. But I would have to say, because different time has different view. For example, like people, if they love to like sightseeing, they like to go for like flower watching, for example, on the same mountains, different time if you go, you got different flowers. And if you come in the winter time, sometimes you get to the mountains that you get to see the snow. Not saying that you have to come to Taiwan to see snows, but you know the view of the snow could be quite different. But in the summertime, well, in the winter time, if you want to go to do water sports, still doable. It depends on the area. It's usually at south. Well, okay. And if you come in the winter time, it's probably a little bit might be too cold for you in the mountains, I have to say. So, if you can give me a better idea, like, you're welcome. It would be, yeah, if you can give me some more information about what you are interested in doing, or I know maybe if you've never been to Taiwan, you might not know too much to what to expect. But if you are just simply thinking about what you like to see, to experience, like I said, some people don't like outdoor activities, some people do. So you can have to make a plan first, and what type of things that you like to do most. So then I can tell you more precisely when is the best time. All right, I'll be right. Yes, Ching Wei, right?
Uh,
Hi.
do you hear my voice? Me?
Yes, I can hear your voice.
I want to ask some question about the Taiwan language. I'm not argue with
Right,
the others that the Mandarin is the official language of Taiwan, but I
right.
want to know about the Taiwan language in the era of prehistory because I'm a second generation of Taiwanese, but I'm curious about the prehistory of language of the Taiwan. So maybe you can explain it to us or to me what the language in the era of prehistory. Yeah.
Sorry, some of your talk was cut off, but it's okay. Well, you're saying that you would like to know about language because you're the second generation of Taiwanese, but it's maybe a little bit too confusing for you. So what you would like to know is which region uh, you will find which type, which different kind of language. Is that what you meant?
I mean, in the prehistorical era, before the Dutch come to Taiwan.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay. That's we will talk about that a little bit later, but next class. But that is more about indigenous languages. It's
Uh,
not about the Mandarins or anything, or any like um, Dutch or Spanish or any Japanese now that. Qingwei, where do you base right now? Which country? I mean.
I'm actually right now I'm studying in Indonesia, but yeah, because my mother is the Yiniran, so yeah, I live
Ah,
in Indonesia right now, but sometimes I come back to Taoyuan.
okay. Oh, so your father was from Taoyuan.
That's it.
Ah, that's really cool. Wow. It's nice to know that actually we have more and more also like Taiwanese who marry foreigners, and so we actually have more and more like Indonesian second generations here. So it was nice to also meet someone online. Okay, a food and culture festival. Um, food. There are a lot of places you can go to, and you can try a lot of different things too. For sure, cultural festivals. Festivals, you really got to come to Taiwan at a certain time because during different time, due to the calendar, due to the tempos, that you can see very different thing. How many dialects do you speak in Taiwan? Okay, besides Aboriginal languages, we here in Taiwan the official language is Mandarin, and we we have Taiwanese, and we have Taiwanese is pretty much similar to Hokkien, but we don't really say Hokkien also because like the Chinese, Malaysian, Chinese, Singaporean, basically the ancestors are mostly coming from Fujian province, Guangdong, or especially in Fujian, some like Zhangzhou, Quanzhou, Chaozhou, Fuzhou, a lot of cities in the but in Taiwan, majority, like 90% of people coming from Fujian are from Zhangzhou and Quanzhou. So if you're speaking like such as Cantonese or some other languages, I mean, sorry, not other languages. Some ways that we speak Taiwanese are not quite the same. Okay, and not uh, some words might not be understand. And so also we have people coming from Guangdong province and some one city of Fujian province, such as they all called Hakka people, but their language is completely different. In Taiwan, they were also the big time misunderstand. They thought they were speaking the same Hakka dialogues, but actually they're not the same. One is from Fujian Shao'an, one is from Guangdong Meixian somewhere. And yeah, that's generally more about it. All right, I'm going to take a very short break. I'll be right back within 2 minutes. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, everyone, let's start again. Well, thank you for waiting to come and visit Taiwan. Just hope this COVID-19 pandemic just go away soon. Yeah, I actually have thought like I've been visiting Singapore and Malaysia before, but never been to Indonesia. And Malaysia, Indonesia are very big. Actually quite a big country to visit as well. It's gonna take me time and energy, and haven't had the chance to visit Indonesia yet. But I'm thinking about going for many years. But it should be really really nice because not only just I know I'm supposed to be here introducing you to Taiwan, but at the same time, like I said, Taiwan has unique things that some things that what we have you don't have, but you do have a lot of things that we don't have. So just being like I said, Taiwan is a small island, so visiting in Taiwan, if you only have like 3 days to 5 days, I would strongly suggest you as the as the first timer, start from the city and not to travel around too much to other cities. Well, would be a good thing. I know that maybe for some local business, they will hate to hear me talking like that. But the thing is, if you're going to own, because if you're this, if this is only your first time and you're spending so much time on just transportation, it could be a little bit pity wasting time unless you're just taking time. That's totally fine. But if you have a week of holidays or maybe 2 weeks or more, I think you can really plan out because if you ask some Taiwanese, some people who doesn't really travel, I mean, as a traveler, but the tourists, they probably will tell you, oh, it doesn't take so much time to travel in Taiwan. But actually, it's not true because we have a lot of mountains. If you want to see some really beautiful, like phenomenal views, though they're small again, it's gonna take time. All right. 1 week, well, you know what? Never enough, if you ask me. I can give you a lot of examples though. It's the same if I ask you, is that 1 week enough in Singapore, Malaysia, or Indonesia? I don't think that's enough. Maybe my Singaporean friends will not agree with me, but I have to say, maybe I would call myself as a traveler instead of tourist because I would like to get to know some local culture and to maybe try in a short time, live like locals, to see things like locals, think like locals. And that's how you get the true experience during your trips. I know. You figure it out, right, Qingwei? Yes, we will talk about that next class this afternoon. Okay. Oh, oops. Let's, okay, let's go back to my easy little PowerPoint. Okay, so why Taiwan? Okay, there, now some information, and the rest of them will be more picture watching. So, okay, so we have over 3,000 meters mountains. We totally have about 268. That's a huge amount, right? So in a small island like this, that we have such high mountains. My bad. Okay, so here, this is the darker it goes, the higher the mountain is. So we have 258 mountains over 300 meters high. So if you want to just be on the beach, you can be on the beach, on the plane, onto the mountain, to the mountain. So when you're in Taiwan, you're able to do mountain hiking. Actually, also in Europe, there are a lot of like Caucasian people. They have usually they start to traveling and do hiking with their parents since they're little. That's like a culture thing mostly, and so there are also a lot of people into mountain hiking, mountain climbing. So because Taiwan has not only just the high mountains like that, we also have a actually not have, but they are very not as easy as what people think. There are some of the hard uh, mountain climbing challenge to get around in Taiwan's mountains. So there are even like foreigners will gather and become a group and come to Taiwan specifically for mountain hiking. Okay, so waterfalls. We have a lot of waterfalls, and well, this is the general numbers to 225. It could be slightly more. So we have a lot of waterfalls, and so some waterfalls you cannot really get close by because the local government block it because it could be dangerous. But some waterfall is open up and it's wild, then you can go and experience some nature. And but please remember, waterfalls in Taiwan generally are small, all right, but it's still nice. And if you wanted to, there's a foreigner lives in Taiwan as a blogger, and he's called himself as Xiaofei. Yeah, if you just look for Xiaofei, this is how he named himself. He is because Taiwan people might love waterfalls, but not probably not as crazy as this guy. And he will be going around the waterfalls anytime, whenever he has free in Taiwan, and he will make it into a map. So they will also help you out on looking for something very special. Okay, so bicycle riding. Um, well, there are a lot of Taiwanese brand in Taiwan. So I'm just listing some of them. So maybe some of them are not familiar to you at all. So you must know Giant if you are riding the bicycle, right? HKS, these are like regular, commonly seen bicycles in Taiwan. So anyone knows this? Any bicycle companies? All right. So then, okay. So talking about bicycle riding waterfalls. Okay, waterfalls are majority in the mountains like this, so it's gonna take you quite some time to uh, take a ride or ride on your own to go to the entrance and walk in. Some of them, the trail towards to the waterfalls are not so long, but some of them are actually a lot longer. Um, so some of them is easy to get to, is around like a Shifen area. All right. So talking about bicycle riding, so why bring up all these Taiwanese bicycle brands? Which is, for example, like Giant. Giant, you can rent a Giant in many different cities in Taiwan, and other brands too. And if like some people are they are professional riders, so they will bring their own bikes for competitions, like like championships or just to practice. But in Taiwan, if you are not coming here for like championships, you can just rent the bicycle with the really high quality. Even Giant, they can provide you different levels of bicycles, so then you can enjoy riding the bike so easily. So in Taiwan, our government is trying to build the bicycle trail if possible, but some is still not quite doable because we, we have very narrow roads, but we always figure out how to do it. So you can either, for some, let's say, first timer as a rider, if you are too dare to challenge the mountains, because it definitely requires time and the muscles, a lot of energy and sweat. So you can just ride around the Taiwan Islands within a week if you wanted to. Okay, so the interesting part, let's say, um, I, Taiwan people are generally very, very friendly and mostly quite helpful. And even just simply talking about police officers, because they're not encouraging you to do it, just saying that in case that could happen, and you don't need to worry way too much, because there are people like riding the bicycle from the north, and one day they end up in the east. The thing is, when they're riding the bike, the riders not always will book the hotel or a hostel in advance, because they really don't know unless they set up the goal. Otherwise, they wouldn't know that how long they're gonna ride that day. So there are people like ride a bike until the East Coast, and it was too late, and they were in the middle of kind of not nowhere, but far away from everywhere, and it doesn't seem there's even hostels. So they got really worried, and they found a police station, like to find a police station, and surprisingly, even surprised our locals as well, because the police actually keep them for a night, not in the jail, but they have a bed to spend overnight for free. So on the East Coast, not only that you can, if you really need of helps, then you can definitely find a place and find people to help you out. Even though, because a lot of people would do bicycle riding on the East Coast, so if you happen to have flat tire and really need help, a police station will also help you out on that. So during my previous trips, I also have riding. Well, I've seen riders from Malaysia, and they spend quite some time cycling around, and happen to get to Hualien area to see the really beautiful cliffs. Okay, so now we're talking about water sports. So scuba diving, snorkeling, SUP, surfing, fishing upstream, rafting. That's all what you can do. So diving, if you're a person who are into diving, you and not still, and also not like super familiar, but knowing the place to go around the world close to your country, you must notice Taiwan. Scuba diving especially is very famous in Taiwan, especially Green Island. It has a really beautiful view, and you can see really beautiful green turtles and corals. And you can, like here, Kenting down to the southwest. Here, Kenting area is also very good for scuba diving. I remember several years ago, a friend of mine came to Taiwan. He didn't tell me before he booked the hotel and the tickets, and he just told me like, hey, I'm coming to Taiwan on a certain day. He said he was going for scuba diving. And actually he took the picture when he dives, like in like Kenting area. He actually saw like a seahorse or delivering babies. So it was really exciting. So not there, like I mentioned earlier, this area is a coral based. So basically you have coral sand, coral beach, and a lot of coral that you can see. And on the north, then we have like Dragon Gate area. This area is also really nice for scuba diving as well. We have several places to go to. If you want further information, well, please let me know. I don't really dive, but I do have information about that. Snorkeling, yes, you can go to some places. If you don't feel like to stay in the main island for, snorkeling, okay, we have, well, on the north coast you can do snorkeling, and also like this is Penghu Islands. This place is really beautiful for snorkeling, and this is Xiaoliuqiu. Xiaoliuqiu, there's a small island. These few places, and also Kenting area is all good for snorkeling. All right. Okay, and talking about upstreams, upstreams is quite commonly see here these days. It's getting more and more popular since we have a lot of waterfalls. So for surfing, okay, not all the places are good to surf because of uh, the wave, right? Okay, so a nice place to go surfing on the north coast, you have Fulong as a sandy beach, sandy beach. And then you can go to Yilan Waiao. This place is the quality of the beach is more rocky, like, okay, it's dark, it's rocky, it's volcanic rock, so it's different. Here is also very popular. Down in Kenting here is super popular too. East Coast is not really a popular place for surfing, probably besides Hualien, this area, like north, more north of Hualien. The reason why, because now this map can show you, actually this white area is not that deep, but down more close to more towards to the east, the water color is more blue, right? Which means it's more deep. So actually here is like a cliff formation. So this is not the place for surfing and the diving. It is actually dangerous here, but it is definitely a great place for fishing. So that's this is the of course, surfing is doable on the west coast too, but it's not as good. I mean, the wave is not as good. All right, so go rafting in Hualien. Here's a place, the biggest river called Shogulan River. This is the biggest river we can do for rafting. But if you want to, if you are the beginner for rafting, if you're in fear of like Mother Nature is too scary, so you can go to Yilan. There's a kind of like wide, super wide canal and river mixed. Like one side is the river, another side is a man-made canal connected, so it's extremely safe. That kind of canal is actually built for watering the harvest. So it is super safe, and as a beginner, that's a place where you can go. But rafting season is usually about summer because we do have the water season, like raining season, and dry seasons. So in the summertime, it's our rainy season because of typhoon. And so basically here, sorry, I'll change on the right hand side. It's easier to see. So the Shogulan River is here, and so that is the rafting is only happens in the summertime. But if you don't really have time in July, August, or June, you don't really have time to come, then until October in Taidong, there are several rivers they're still able to for you to go for rafting. But I have to say the river is smaller than Shogulan River. It's a little bit different, but it will also help you to adjust your itinerary. Okay, so we're talking about festivals. We have a lot of festivals that because we have influence from China mostly. So for years, for 100 years, so we definitely have a lot of festivals. And the sad thing is because China's had been through the cultural revolutions long time ago, so there are a lot of things are not safe. And thanks to also thanks to some Chinese, Singaporean, Chinese and Chinese in Indonesia and Malaysia, and because they're trying their best to save the culture and to practice them in their real lives, even when they already immigrate to other countries. Like that, we basically save it all. Not only that we keep all the Chinese traditions, and we also some of the Chinese traditions emerge with the local indigenous people's culture and becomes a new one, or it's developed on its own in Taiwan locally due to some, for example, like old time we have some plagues or some things like that. So it's slowly developed its own one in Taiwan. And food. All right, talking about food, that yesterday, first day that we have talked quite a little bit. I know it sounds weird, but there are always a lot more to talk about. The same like as in your country, you always have a lot to offer and different type of food. Like I said, not only just Chinese food, we have a Taiwan local developed food, and we also have like Chinese food, but more Taiwan style. The reason why I would say that because I personally lived in China for 5 years, a long time ago, and every time when I saw like Chinese food on TV, and I was really wanting to try, and the one I tried in Taiwan and the one I tried in China actually not quite the same, but it's I mean, of course, if you're finding the real Chinese who came to Taiwan after 1949, they definitely cook more like when they cook back home in China at the time. But they could be slightly different, could be exactly the same, right? And do we have Dutch food? No, we don't have Dutch food in Taiwan, but we have very strong influence because food is not right now. I'm not just talking about the dishes, but also talking about the fruit. Actually, Taiwan, okay, food as well. Let's say Taiwan didn't really have kettles, so Dutch were the people who introduced kettles to Taiwan, and also that a lot of fruit, such as the most well-known one. We have several different kinds of mangoes. Traditionally, one is quite small and with big seed inside, but the fragrance it was really really beautiful. But another one is a regular type of mangoes that everybody knows. It was some some breeds were introduced by Dutch, and also that we have in Chinese called 荷兰豆 in Taiwan, like Holland beans that was introduced by Dutch as well, and also some flowers, plants. Well, 阿中面线. Okay, I would say, okay, I'm not saying that because I would just, okay, don't get me wrong, because someone brought up a kind of food I did not have in my PowerPoint, so I'm gonna show that to you on. Oops. Oh. Okay. It's a little bit slow. Okay, so this is what called 面线, is kind of noodles. Okay, and it's like with a thick, sticky soup, but not it's not too thick, but it's sticky a little bit. And this is oyster, and okay, let me make it clear though. You can add, well, in central Taiwan where our school at Taichung, uh, and also the county next to it called Zhanghua. Okay, we have something called 大面羹, 短面羹. It has nothing, like no oyster, no other toppings. It's simply noodles. But in other places, we could add oyster, and can be separated. They will add afterwards after you order, so they're not cooked together. And this is the pig organs, and this is coriander. People loves coriander. Okay. But I would say I wouldn't suggest you to. Okay, I was saying that I wouldn't, if you have a chance, try not to go to Azong Mianxian, go to some other stores and go to different places. Um, I was born and raised in Ximending area, so I know that place the best. And Azong Mianxian was the first branch, the first shop was opening there. Originally, Azong Mianxian just a store, like pushing around the owner pushing around Ximending. But I have to say, ever since I had the memory growing up there, I have never tried Azong Mianxian. And plus, it's not the popular one for Taiwanese. If you pay attention, going there, I totally understand because of bloggers and entertainment at the very beginning. They're smart to entertain themselves. But of course, not saying they're not good. I was just saying whatever you like the most, that's good for you and it's a good memory for your trip. But if you would like to try what locals love the most, Azong is definitely not the place to go to because when you go there, you will only see foreigners. Okay, so that's if you want. What I meant is if you would like to try something local, local favorites, then you should go somewhere. Okay, so uh, oops. Okay, I guess this is a lot easier right now to see from the screen. Okay, so forget about for right now. We're talking too much about. So we have a lot of springs. If you want to come to Taiwan for a leisure, luxury leisure trip, if you don't have time but you still want to come to Taiwan, and I know what you'll be wondering, like why Taiwan for springs? Let's say springs in Taiwan, like there are so many countries has hot springs, cold springs, and beautiful other kind of springs. But why Taiwan? Because Taiwan is a very small island. It allows you to travel in a very, very short time, then be able to experience it all. Assume that you only have 1 week holidays, right? So you're not able to fly from one country to the other just if you want to try some more. But in Taiwan, we have in northern Taiwan, we have iron hot spring. Then you're going all around Taiwan. Majority of spring are sodium bicarbonate hot spring. And if you, oh, let's go here. If you come to Tainan here, okay, we have um, mud spring. All right. Then when going to the northeast here in Yilan, and we have also cold spring. So cold spring is available here in Yilan in Miaoli, but Yilan is the major place people would go. And if you're still not happy with it, because wintertime you got hot spring, summertime you got cold spring, and if you're still not satisfied enough, you can go to Green Island. Green Island is the main place we will go for a seabed hot spring. So we are basically not saying like all the qualities are exactly the same, but I mean, just in a very small place like Taiwan that you can experience so many springs as a like luxury treatment trip. Okay, so we're talking about multiple culture. So you can experience like traveling in Taiwan and going to different villages, like to like more like Han Chinese people's village area, like living area, like more to the countryside, because in the cities that it's difficult to really experience much about that. And you can also go to Hakka people's area, so you can experience different type of food, different kind of atmosphere, and their culture, and also to like indigenous people's tribes. So we have so many different kind of different tribes and different kind of culture. So you can spend a night, shop there, eat there, learn there, and so that's what you can experience. And nature, okay, we have a lot of mountains, we have sea coastline, so we have flatland. So there are a lot different kind of view to see. And if you only have chance to go to Taipei, definitely we would like to have you in our school first, if possible. Yeah, and so in um, Taipei is a very small area, but it's surrounded by lakes. Sorry, not by lakes, by mountains, because Taipei was 2 times a lake in history. So, which also means like when you are staying in Taipei City, that's about like way less than 1 hour, like 30 minutes to 1 hour ride to a mountain. Okay, the reason why I say 1 hour is depends on which area you're at in Taipei, but generally like about 30, 40 minutes or sometimes 20 minutes you get to the mountains, which is like about um, like 700 meters high. So you can, climb and watch the view. And of course you can experience some different view in a different area, because the mountains in Taipei and in central Taiwan, southern Taiwan, it honestly looks different due to the weather condition, I think. And unique species, we have a lot of different unique species too. Take example, if you go to Taipei, a lot of people decided to go to the zoo, but honestly, no defense, but I have to say, please do not just come to Taiwan to the zoo just to see the pandas. Okay, pandas are from China, from Sichuan province. They're not from Taiwan. Don't get me wrong, they're super cute, but you got to come to Taiwan to see what we have and what other places don't have. So you should go to a Taiwan section and you can see Formosan bear. They might look a little bit similar to some other bear, but they're not the same. We have several different animals. They're all unique. And also, if you like to do like birds watching, and if you like to see some like plants or grass or ferns, um, I'm not quite sure if you know, like New Zealand dollars, actually their dollar bills has like a lot of different kind of fern printed on it, right? Every time when I look at it, actually I feel a little bit sad, because Taiwan is a place where it has a lot of different species. And I do know in New Zealand they have a lot of different kind of ferns. But in Taiwan, actually, we have way more than them, but nobody is really talking about that. So I was just saying, if you're like biologist type of mind, I think that's a place you can actually see a lot of things, which is Taiwan. Yeah, feel cute. I'm just saying, like, it is nice. It's just if you want to try what locals like the most, then you should go other places. Not saying they're that bad or something, because I've never tried before, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, so we're gonna see. This is the Jade Mount Jade in Taiwan. This is our highest mountain. Okay, so because it's actually snowed, so sorry, I should just give you the idea like how it could look like um, when it snows. A lot of people also challenge going to Jade Mountain like this. Okay, so it's not like snowy every year. Okay, okay, this is the snowy view. So, do Taiwan snow? Yes, we do. And also, uh, does it only snow in high mountains? Well, let's say generally yes, but few years ago, there's one year during the Chinese New Year time was extremely cold. In Taipei City, the mountains in Taipei City are kind of snow. And the previous time before that happened in Taipei City is like about almost 60, maybe 50, 60 years ago, Taipei's got snow. So yeah, we do receive snow in the winter time, but in high mountains. So that, um, okay, that is something that people like to see as well if you don't have snows. Okay, so this is Mount Hehuan. Hehuan is actually people go there and start to go climbing to the Mount Jade. So Hehuan is very also very beautiful place. And this road right now, I know. Let's see, I think it's. Okay, the road here right now, where my area is, this is the road. We're taking you to from Taichung from the west to the east to Hualien. So this is the view of Mount Hehuan. It's over 3,200 meters high already. So, well, that is also will lead you from Taichung from the school and to Summer Lake, and then that direction and going to the mountain pass, changing from to see ships and all the way to Tarako Gorge. Okay, so this is our most famous waterfall for tourists as well, and it's called Shifen Waterfall. Shifen Waterfall is located in northeast of Taiwan, and it's more close to a Shifen sky lantern place. Actually, it's just walking distance, about like 10, 15 minutes. Okay, not. This is probably the most beautiful waterfall that let's say from this angle, this is probably the most beautiful one. Actually, it has another name though. You know what Taiwan is called? That want to take a guess? There's a fall northern U.S. by almost the border of Canada. What's that fall called? Yes, Nicaragua. This is how we call it in by Taiwanese. Taiwanese little Nicaragua fall. That's very good. Thank you. Okay. So these are the activities you can do, like water sports that we mentioned. This is Hualien. This is by a very famous cliff called Qingshui. And you can see if you go and you're sailing on the Pacific Ocean, the water is so blue and beautiful. And if you go to upstream, you can definitely run into a lot of waterfalls. Some of them are small, some of them they're big. And it's nice though. Especially it's really cool in the summertime. Oops. Did I just? Oh, okay. So if you love birds, sorry. Okay, so if you love birds watching, this is the place you can come to. I mean, Taiwan. Of course, I'm talking about Taiwan. So these are all unique species. I'm only listing few of them because there's so many. All right, so I got this. I got this one at home at my parents' house. They are beautiful, but they are not very friendly, especially. I mean, normally they're friendly. I mean, if you're just looking at them, but during the time they're laying eggs, they are not friendly at all, because they, in order to protect their babies and their eggs, and they could attack people if you are getting too close. Only if you are getting too close. So that's when you stay away from them. And how wild they can be. They if you find the Taiwan dollar bill in the future when you come over to Taiwan, then you can. Oh, that's another. It's the one on the right hand side. Anyways, so I would say that this kind of bird is really wild because if assume that there's one snake on the road trying to attack it, it will attack back and eventually kill the snake and pull it out of the organs of the snakes that I've seen on several videos before. I know it sounds crazy, but they're beautiful. Okay, the next one. All right, so there are several species. These are wild ones, so it's hard, especially this little shrew is not easy to see because they're basically only come out in the certain like really deep mountains. So it's hard to see. That's why this picture is quite foggy because I couldn't find anything better. Otherwise, the more clear pictures are mostly dead ones, and and this one on the right, it's just really also quite rarely seen. Usually it was taken by cameras or you just run into it unexpectedly because they living in the mountains and they are also good at jumping uh, between cliffs, so they can jump around and they're in fear of people. So these are all like real Taiwan special like special species. Okay, so this Sarah is quite beautiful. I've only seen once because it got caught, not got caught, it got caught afterwards after he injured. So, okay. So these are all like unique species. If you are interested in animal species like this, you can go on internet and find out more information. And especially those named as Taiwan or Formosan ones, they are the unique species from Taiwan. All right, let's talk about something that you will be likely seeing in real. So this is Toroko Gorge. Toroko Gorge is located in Hualien on the East Coast. And this is just part of that. There are actually way more views and different pictures that you can see. So this rock-like thing, these are what we call marble. Well, Hualien was actually located just right between two plates. So originally, all these rocks are limestones, and because of the metamorphism, it becomes marbles. So Taiwan nowadays still, well, there's still not not a lot of them. We are more the marbles that we use in Taiwan are imported. Still, some of them, just few of them, are from Taiwan, from Hualien area. And so all these are marbles. So what you can see several different colors of marbles, like white, gray, black, and especially another one called rose stone. This is a rose one, rose color. It's really pretty. And the picture on the right, this is what we call Old Man Trail, and we also call Chinese we call it 追路古道追路 Old Trail. It is an old trail that the people from Toroko tribes they used to walk on and to commute. Okay, so this is actually not a very easy place to walk. So you definitely need to, as a foreigner, if you want to go there, it's better to apply like at least 20 days in advance, just in case, and to ensure that you have a chance to get in because this requires a tour guide. And the most narrow area can only have one person stands on. So this is the old trail that traditionally how the indigenous people they hunt, they go home, they do their thing. So this is Toroko Gorge. All right. So if you have a lot of energy, it is good to go to this we call Jiaming Lake, the Tear of Angel. It looks like it's very easy to get to, but actually it is not. How difficult that is? Take a guess. Okay. I know it sounds a little bit stupid taking a guess because the reason why I say that because you can see the cloud is so low, right? But actually it's because the mountain is so high. So this lake is located in Taitung, the southeast of Taiwan, and on the mountains. And this mountain called Xiangyang Mountain, and the lake. This lake is located on the elevation about 3,300 meters high. So it is the second highest lake in Taiwan. It's quite high and it's really pretty. And from the entrance of the trail going there, it's, let's say, if not counting any like turning trails, if going from straight from point A at the bottom of the trail and to go all the way there, the straight distance is about 7 kilometers. But from the very low elevation going all the way higher up to more than 3,000 meters, even 7 kilos is really, really difficult, hard to get. So it's gonna take a lot of energy. You basically commute there, and then you're gonna take a couple of days to go mountain hiking and maybe spend overnight there by camping. All right, there's no hotels. So does it snow? Yes, in the winter times it could snow too. Excuse me. Um, Sunburn Lake is not that high. Sunburn Lake's elevation is about like just above 850 meters. So this is 3,300 meters high. So it's much more higher. Right. Okay. So now, oops. We're taking. We're talking. I'm just sorry. Okay, now we're talking about Pingxi Sky Lantern. So earlier we were talking about the Pingxi, which is located on the towards to the northeast area, not by the coast, but not too far away, but still it's inside of the mountain. So because of mountain ride, then it's gonna probably take about almost 1 hour to reach the coast because of a mountain drive. All right, so Sky lantern was invented in China hundreds years ago by the general called Ming, and he invented the lantern basically just to send out the message to his soldiers. So, but in Taiwan, it's developed a completely different way. Well, of course, the lantern was brought in because of Chinese immigrants hundreds years ago, and then, because Taiwan is an island, and we have because in old time, Taiwan is the place, actually an island that nobody wants, basically, before Dutch came over. Dutch originally, they didn't plan to come to Taiwan. They planned to go to Penghu Islands, the biggest islands group on the west of Taiwan. And so because they couldn't stay there because Qing dynasty, their army was there, so they got rejected and they end up coming to Taiwan. Anyways, so because Taiwan is the islands based originally, nobody wants, even Qing dynasty didn't want that until the late Qing. And so there are a lot of pirates around Taiwan, so people would be terrifying because they could come and rob people, right? So when, especially the Pingxi area, when people live there, whenever the pirates coming or the bad things coming, people will hide in the mountains, and some people will be out try to defeat the enemy. So by the time things are going okay, it's safe to come out, they would light up the set of the sky lantern to pass the message and telling each other it's safe, it's okay to come out. So of course in Pingxi that's represent as peace, right, and safety. And why only Pingxi? Because in Taiwan, the government just banned on setting up the lanterns everywhere, especially Taipei in the cities, because it could cause the fire. So Pingxi is, besides the leisure farms, Pingxi is the only place is legally to set up a lot of lanterns. Of course, uh, they will be monitoring because of, also in case of the fire. And the local people, they also work together really hard, because a lot of tourists would ask me, what happened with those lanterns once it's burned down? People in the morning, they will go to the go around the mountains when they go hiking, and some of them will specifically look for um, lanterns, because nowadays lanterns are not made the same as before. Traditionally, it's made, okay, the bones are made of bamboos, and nowadays not. So they can just gathering the trash after burn and still do the recycle, because of it's basically iron, so they can be recycled. So yeah, that's why. And this festival, now we're talking about festival, it only happened like this. If you want to catch a picture like this, in January 15, which is the Lantern Festival in lunar calendar. Okay, only on this day. So if you wanted to do that, make sure that you check the lunar calendar to make sure you are coming at the right time. But I would say there are two other festivals I would like to talk about before we end of this class, and because it's also related to the same day. Okay, here. Okay, so we have like Bomb Lord Handan. Lord Handan is the god, and he's a general that at the same time people believe that he's the god of money. So well, this is in Taidong. Taidong is a county on the southeast coast of Taiwan. And what is this man is doing? Okay, I know it looks scary, right? Okay, so this one, Bam Handan, I'll explain it shortly. Bam Handan and this Beehive Festival happening on exactly the same day as the Sky Lantern Festival. They're all happening on January 15th of lunar calendar. All right, so Bam Lord Handan is that people whose name is Zhao Gong. We also call him Handan. He's actually more fear of cold, and also that people believe that shooting the firecrackers on him will helps him to stay not warm, and also the culture tradition tells us the more you bomb and more luck that you will receive in the next year. So traditionally they would use the statue sitting on it and have people bomb it. But nowadays, well, it's also been years though. This tradition is originally coming from China long time ago, but like I said, because of Cultural Revolution, that China doesn't really have this like Taiwan anymore. And at many years ago, hundreds of years ago, Taiwan has this tradition not just in Taitung but other cities as well. But now it's only available there. So now they also have real human beings to pretend as God, as Lord Handan, to be bombed. So now you can see this is always man. It's because Lord Handan is a man. So he would dress in red pants, okay, just like this, and the legs are not covered. chestnut coverage, but basically cover the eyes and the face just in case. Otherwise, it's so he's allowed to hold the some plants as fence to protect himself. So basically, this is the legal, super legal activities that you some country, well, not some countries, but most of the countries, that if you want to bomb someone, that is totally illegal, right? And here, this is legal. You can literally throw firecrackers on someone, All right. Now I know the PowerPoint is not moving. Is it moving now? So if you really feel like to do something like that, okay, great. So if you really want to do that, like bump someone, then that is your time, because that is the place where you can do it legally, not illegal. Great. So, but like I said, if you want to experience these 3 festivals, you have to come to Taiwan 3 times on the same day, for sure. Otherwise, you just have to escape one of them. So the Kimbo, I will skip it for now. But the Beehive Festivals is even crazier. Beehive Festival is happening every year down in southern Taiwan called Tainan, a place called Yanshui. So if you can read Chinese, you can say Yanshui Wu Miao. What does that mean, Wu Miao? Miao is temple, Wu is the god of war. So actually, this temple is worship the god of war. He was a general, actually the same year as Kong Ming, who invented the lanterns, and he was a great general. Is also the well, nowadays some people also because of the influence from China, and so people start to also worship him as the god of the money, but actually we call him god of war because he's a great general and he's very loyalty to his master, his king. So because at the time, hundreds of years ago, that Yanshui has a plague, okay, and it is not just going any better. So until one day that people invited the god of war to go to their cities, and that's when um, the plague surprisingly just disappeared afterwards. So people are getting really excited and start lighting up the firecrackers in order to say thank you to the god of war, and also to chase away the bad lucks. So this picture looks quite scary on the left, because apparently all these colors shootings, these are all firecrackers, and here are wearing helmets and cover themselves. And on the right hand side, these pictures, all these fires, the bright things, they are firecrackers too. They are not lights, not lightning. Okay, so people do believe that to have the firecrackers shooting on them will chase the bad luck away the whole year through. So the more you got it, well, so I know it sounds crazy, right? You could get burned, but I know I'm not trying to freak you out, but you could get burned. But if you have a proper protection, then you will be just fine for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna show you just a few couple of videos about that, just short term, because I think they will explain much better if you can just watch it. Oops, sorry, purposely. I'm looking for this guy. This video, he's actually doing quite all right job, and so Well, this is the guy. Well, I met him years ago. I think 2002, but we're still kind of Facebook friend. But I was just surprisingly to find out he's recently become a YouTuber, and but he is taking some videos and doing a pretty good job. So I'm gonna show you just a few. Uh, oh, okay. So here is going to teach you that how you kind of wrap yourself. Oops. Okay. I'm not quite sure if you can hear this, but if you cannot, let me know. Okay, so if you cannot really hear that, I'll try to figure out yet soon. But right now, then I'll have you to maybe read the subtitle if you're okay, so we don't waste so much time.
那个老师没有声音哦。那个老师，那个声音可能要勾一个。
我知道，我知道没有声音。我刚刚跟他们说，看要不然现在先看那个字幕，要不然等我弄完可能太晚了。
你那个连接可以给我吗？我帮你用看看好不好？哎，就是你那个 YouTube 连接给我一下，我试看看一下，好不好？哎。
Sorry, guys. Just have to wait for a short while.
Let me try. Okay, so wait. 等一下，那个。 我好像也没有多快。等一下，抱歉。
什么？
等一下。
Good evening, everybody. My name is Wes Davies. Welcome back to my channel. I'm actually here in the beautiful countryside just outside of Yanshui City. We're here for another year, the Yanshui Feng Pao, the Beehive Firework Festival. I absolutely can't wait. I went last year, had such a great time that Mike and I decided we're gonna give it another shot. So we just have to get our gear all set, make sure we're all safe for the festivities tonight, and I will of course be sharing everything with you. So let's go. We just arrived here at the Diverting Scenes Hostel. It's actually really cool. It's in this old traditional Taiwanese kind of rural neighborhood, and it's obviously a very well kept hostel. There's lots of little bunks everywhere, and we've just got our stuff set up in one of the rooms. So right now our mission is to get our gear sorted.
So we're gonna take these towels, we're gonna tape them to the bottom of this so it hangs down over our necks. Wear a scarf just in case for the inside, have some gloves for our hands, and a nice jacket. If we wear enough underneath the jacket, it should be okay.
We're just gonna spend a little bit of time doing that and then make our way into Yanshui City, where we're gonna meet up with the group from the hostel here and start enjoying our night.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Diverting Scenes Studio. I'm Daniel, and tonight we are going to Yanshui with our protective gear and helmets, and we will bring you to experience Yanshui fireworks. Right now we are in Hobby District and Shiran Village. Here is our studio. You can see we just rebuilt a new traditional Taiwanese house, and we use new material to build like this. And if you want to experience the rural life of Tainan, you can come to stay with me for the night.
It's really nice to come out here in the countryside of Yanshui, breathe the fresh air, and then also be able to have a great tour.
There you have it, folks. This is the first wave of resistance. Upon many layers which you will be wearing, I think we're gonna be okay.
Hope so.
Mike and I have just arrived in Yanshui. Honestly, the atmosphere here is so electric. You can obviously hear the fireworks going off all around me in the distance. So I cannot wait to get into the heart of the city and start experiencing this beautiful Yanshui Firework Festival. All right, I am all suited up. I've got my helmet, all my protection gear, heavy duty coat, and this was all thanks to Diverting Scenes Studio, the hostel that we're staying at. They actually rent out all the protection gear that you'll need for this night here at the Yanshui Firework Festival. So I will put all the links down below for their hostel, but just know that they're a great place if you want to come here and experience this festival. Stay at the hostel, they'll rent you the protection gear and give you a tour all around the city. So we are in the midst of the Yanshui Firework Festival. It is just chaos out here. You'll never see anything like this as long as you live, I swear. This is probably one of the craziest and most interesting and most culturally significant festivals you will ever witness in any country. We're just so lucky to be here in Taiwan. I just live, you know, an hour and a half down the road in Kaohsiung, but we're here in Yanshui tonight. And honestly, you have to come here and experience this festival for yourself. I'm not even sure how this is legal, but obviously it's very important for the community here, and I just feel so lucky to be part of this festival.
Thank you for coming our studio. We hope to see you next year. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so yeah, that's just a quick video about that, so then you can see what's really going on there. Basically, you are having the firecrackers shoot on you legally as well. Okay, so you got free shots, and but you have to be very, let's say, one night before, you have to have excellent good sleep, and you got to have like really, I mean, have enough food, sleep well, have a lot of energy. The reason why is that you got to, sorry. All right. So because basically you have to prevent the firecrackers stay on your body and you get burned, right? So you basically have to jump up and down, up and down, up and down all night long when you're participating until you walked away from the whole festival. All right. So it's gonna require a lot of energy and a lot of preparation. So like I said, you can participate in different festivals like this Beehive, or we call it Firecrackers Festival. This is now in Thailand, or this one in Taitung called Bomb Lord Handan. If you are in fear of receiving the firecrackers, so you can go bomb someone legally, that's where you can go. And if you want something more elegant, maybe, but it's gonna be very crowded anyway, so elegant in a picture-wise. So you can go for Pingxi Sky Lantern. All right, so do you have any questions so far? Do you have any questions? Okay, everyone. If not, we are taking a lunch break right now. So we'll come and see you at 1 p.m. Then we still have some PowerPoint haven't finished yet, that we'll go together what we're talking about this afternoon, the Taiwan indigenous peoples. Yanshui festival started due to the plague. People get sick all the time there, and just until one day they invited Guan Gong, the god of the war, to Yanshui, and they did a ceremony and stuff like that, and the plague is just gone. So that's why they're celebrating it, and also to bomb the bad luck away. All right. Well, the reason why I choose this YouTuber is not because of he's my friend, but I was just saying he, compared with some other YouTubers shooting the same thing, his video is able to explain, to show more. So Yeah, I think, and also with the English subtitles and English language, that's a lot easier for you all to understand. All right, if there's no questions for now, let's take a lunch break and I'll see you shortly.